Lana says that she is new to boot camp. It's her first webinar and she's really excited. Welcome, everybody. Would you, I know that you don't have your microphones on, everybody, but would you please do, but I want you to know, Lana, everybody's going to say welcome on a count of three. You may not hear it, but if you put your head, if you listen to the window, they're going to scream it really loud. All right, everybody say welcome, Lana. 1, 2, 3. I bet you somebody out there did it. And I bet you somebody's going to be brave enough to turn the microphone on. So here's the deal. I'm waiting to see who's asking the first question because nobody emailed me the question in advance. Okay, Carl, you had posted on Facebook a great question, and I should have written it down. You had a couple of folks in boot camp answer that. I want to know if you need more help with that, bring it forward. Go ahead and type your questions in. And while I'm waiting for those questions to come in, I want to give you some things to talk about. On the screen there, we have the words take control. Take control. And I think that's important when I say take control in terms of your business and the direction you want it to go, okay? Make 2016 the year that you don't let your business run you, but it's the year that you run your business. Okay. Okay, Stuart, what do you mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is go ahead and make your, if you've seen me speak before in front of audiences, make your love circle on a piece of paper. Just take a piece of paper and draw a big circle. Okay, and on the inside of that circle, write down all the things you love to do in your business and all the people you love to work with. And on the outside of the circle, I want you to write all the people you don't like doing business with and all the business you don't like doing for whatever reason. And then you're going to make a commitment to only do the things inside your love circle. It's not easy to say no to some people. It's not easy to say no to some business. But in order for you to focus on the business you really want, and if it's groups, you've got to say no to something else perhaps. So you can do a time shift, okay? You can do a resource shift of what you're focused on and what you're doing. Plus, I want to give you the biggest takeaway right here about what I'm telling you is that not only would it help you to focus, to run your business rather than let you run your business and focus on the things you really love to do, but the people you work with, your clients, will see it and feel it. They'll get a sense that you're perhaps not so scattered. They'll get a sense that you're really focused because you're going to then, step 3 is translate to your branding. Your branding. What's your branding? Your personal branding is, well, when I come to your website, what do I see? Do I see the things inside your love circle, the business you want to attract, and the people you want to do business with? Is it attractive? Does it tell your story, or is it too scattered? Your business card, your Facebook, your Pinterest, your tweets, whatever you do. So that's step 3 to this, which is make sure that as a customer, I get it. And if you clarify and you're clear, and then you project that, you're going to get the business that you want. And I start off by saying that because so many folks, I think, are sort of afraid to declare a niche. A niche is okay. Don't think of a niche as a little tiny thing, because if you love doing groups and a specific kind of group, if you tell the world, they'll get to know that's your specialty. And certainly that little niche will become huge, huge. Have any of you done that? Have any of you made a new business plan for this year? Have any of you made a new commitment to do something, a new habit, a new practice as we start this year? I don't know why we wait for the new year to start, why we all can't just start something new today. Right now, do something new today. How many of you sent out Happy New Year cards? I sent out Happy New Year cards to my clients in the travel business who have hired me to come speak for them or do training programs, but I didn't write Happy New Year. I wrote Happy Stu Year. Happy Stu Year. And it was a handwritten card, including the address and the return address, handwritten. And it was not easy because I got lousy handwriting. All right. Let me check the boards here. Gina, thank you very much. Happy New Year. I appreciate it. Same back to you. And Gina wishes everybody a Happy New Year. And let me read what Carl wrote here. I think I found the answer, but I want to mark. But now listen up, everybody. If I want to mark up, if I do it the cruise line, it appears I have to charge everyone. So I'm thinking I would need to charge it in-house instead if I want the ability to give an early bird discount. Okay, so with the cruise line, well, so Carl, you have different. It sounds like you need to put this upcharge with this value added package, which I love. It's very, very important that you put your markup in there. You need, it needs to fluctuate. It needs to vary for the different people. I don't know if you're able to put your microphone on and explain this, but one of the things about making separate charges, and I know this has come up before. Let's talk about this, and if you've had experience with this, please share that. Can you get away with having, in this case, the cruise line take one charge and you take another, either by check or if you have a merchant account, which a lot of travel professionals just don't have. They may be expensive to maintain. Maybe you can do it by PayPal or was it Square or something. I use PayPal for my stuff. It's not easy, and sometimes it makes people feel a little uncomfortable when they're paying different places, different people, right? I have to give you two checks. I have to give my credit card to two different places. What I'd like to recommend, maybe you can do it, Carl, and everybody, tell me if this will work or not work, but so it doesn't look so obvious. So you don't have to say you make $1,000 payable to the cruise line and $50 payable to me. That just looks suspicious. It looks weird. Maybe you can do it as a form of a deposit, so that whatever that deposit amount that you collect is something that strictly 100% comes to you, and then the payments get made to the cruise line. I don't know if there's a way to sort of label them differently, but obviously every cruise line have different terms and conditions when it comes to overpayments. They'll collect it for you. They will. Some of them charge 3% for collecting the overpayment. Some of them don't. And I don't know if it's done, Carl, by category, if you're able to have specific add-ons by category, or some cases if you overcharge, then maybe do a rebate. I'm not exactly sure. I would need to know more of the circumstances, but it definitely is tricky. And I'm a big believer, as you guys are, in not just working for commission. The commission that the supplier pays you is just a gratuity. It's simply a gratuity. It's just a tip. I believe you can't really earn a good living on just tips alone. But maybe you are. Maybe you're making 20% or 25%. But the last I checked, the top level was usually 15, on occasion 18, and most folks are making 12. Okay, I don't know. So wouldn't it be great to be able to do those add-ons? Let me just see here. Okay, Carl said he's viewing from his phone for past guests. Wanted to give them a bonus by not charging the markup if they book within 30 days. I was trying to keep it seamless like you mentioned. I get it. Carl, thanks for elaborating on that. So, yeah, you wanted to give them a bonus by not charging the markup. I get it. So, well, I could tell you, the other way to do it, Carl, I don't know if you would consider this but don't give them the darn money back, because it sort of looks like a discount, if you will, or it looks like the price is going up. And that's okay. Book by this date and it's this rate, or if you have VIP, you get this. But what if you gave it to them as a shipboard credit? What if you didn't have to write that check back to them or give them a different rate, have them pay what everybody else pays, but saying as a special bonus gift, thank you for being a loyal repeat customer, a past guest, I'm going to give you that $50 back, and go ahead, knock yourself out. Have a nice bottle of wine. Go spend at the casino, put it towards an excursion. I don't know if you can do that. Sort of instead of just using it as cash, leverage it, especially, Carl, and I like to say this about all the time, is that rather than giving cash back, if you can make that cash seem like it's worth more. So, for instance, if rather than saying we're going to give $50 back, is there anything you can provide that costs you $50? But you're buying wholesale that has a perceived value of 75 or 100. But for instance, let's just say, Carl, that there's a shore excursion. I'm just saying, listen, everybody, if there's a shore excursion that you want everybody to go on, and the shore excursion, the list price is 100, and the list price on 100, and if you can work out a net deal with them, like if it's resort for a day, where you just net out your commission, or if you get they shave off a little bit because it's a group, because they do have some group packages to the resorts. You know what your net is, okay, and then you put their 50 towards that. So your cost in buying that shore excursion is, let's say, $20 or $25. Let's say you have their 50, you're keeping their 50, and then let's say your net rate on that $100 excursion is 75, so it's only costing you 25. Then the perceived value to the consumer is 100. You're giving them a $100 gift, yet they're paying the same value as everybody else, the same price. Am I making sense? I like it when you can give them something, whether it's a gift that they need, that they want, because if it's something they don't want, that they don't need, it's not going to be exciting for them. They're going to say, really, is that all? Can you still give me a discount? Right? All right. So I don't know if that helped any, or if I'm more confused. Oh no, Carl said yes, perfect, thank you, you're very welcome. Carol says, I do a lot of custom trips. If you make separate charges, you have to make sure to add enough to cover the additional merchant fees. I have done the suggestion of first deposit is to my company, and I'm reading what Carol's writing, and later payments I process directly to the supplier. Another key part is to develop terms and conditions with non-refundable deposit that will protect the initial payments made to you. Carol, that's wonderful. I'm going to read it again. Hold on, everybody, because I want to get everybody's feedback. That's what I'm talking about. So Carol does a lot of custom trips, and if you make separate charges, you have to make sure to add enough to cover the additional merchant fees, of course, which is usually about 3%. I have done the suggestion of first deposit to my company, later payments by the supplier. So that's been done, and many of you probably have already tried that. Another key part is to develop terms and conditions with non-refundable deposit that will protect the initial payments. Absolutely. Terms and conditions are really important, obviously, especially if you're taking money and you need to enforce your own because it's been made payable to you versus the supplier. The supplier certainly has their own terms and conditions. That is essential that you communicate back to them. And then what you want to do is, like for instance, on my partial ship charter, I'm doing a partial ship charter, the Ama Christina. I set up, because I can, I set up my own deposit terms. And right now, I told everybody, go ahead and deposit, and it's fully refundable up to 1 year prior, which is 1 year prior, April 18th to the trip. Fully refundable. I want people to feel very comfortable. And during this zone of, I don't want anybody to have buyer's remorse. We've been sending out information, getting them excited, talking to them, so they'd have no reason to get their refundable deposit back. But come April 18th, not only is the second deposit due, but that first deposit is non-refundable. You're committed, baby. After April 18th, 2016, you're committed. I know it's different with me with a charter because that money is coming to me. I decided not to have AMA collect that because AMA they charge a merchant fee to collect the money, which is totally understandable. So I'm paying the merchant fee on my end. Okay, so I appreciate you sharing that, Carol. And unless you have your own merchant account, there's no perfect solution other than if there's a way to toggle those deposit amounts and protect yourself. Always protect yourself. So that nobody comes back and to bite you. All right, is anybody gonna making a request to turn their microphone on? Because I think if you do, then I will see it pop up. I'm not really sure. Hey, Will's in the house. Hey, Will, thank you very much for volunteering. Appreciate that for pride and feedback. If you guys don't already know it, I'm doing a whole new launch group boot camp. That's going to include the group launch sequence. You guys are in. You get the group launch sequence. I'm almost done with it. I promise. You guys get it. It's all part of it. But boot camp is going up to $600 for the year. And we're not going to do the loaded and the ultra. It's $600 for the year. So it's gone up $100. You guys get in at a good time. And I just thought it would be great to help show other travel professionals, not to take it from me, but to take it from folks who are already in boot camp. And as a thank you for that, I'm happy to give you an extra 3 months in boot camp to hang with us, to be with us. And if you'd like to do that, let me know. We're doing little Skype interviews or FaceTime interviews or just something in writing. I'm significantly grateful to get the feedback of what in boot camp is working for you or how it's affected your business. Janice joined us. Judy's joined us. Wow, Lori's in the house. And Sharon's in the house. Steve and Will's in the house. This is awesome. So I don't know if you guys are requesting to turn your microphone on because I don't see anything popping up here. But I'm looking for the next question. Who's got the next question? Okay, we got Nancy here. Hold on there. Hold on, everybody. Hey, Stuart, I've been recommended to a national ski group to organize their annual meeting, 2017. The 2016 meeting was canceled for several reasons, but mainly because there was no group coordinator. I'm meeting with the guy that has organized these trips in the past tomorrow to chat. What important questions do I need to ask him? Should I get a contract and have them hire me as a consultant for the specific job? Or ask them for a non-refundable deposit? Do I send out an invitation to ski areas, group departments to bid on this group or go through a ski tour operator? It's about 80 to 100 people. Okay, so it's a national ski group to organize their annual meeting in 2017, and it was canceled, but mainly because there was no group coordinator. Okay, so when you say Nancy, should you be the hired as the consultant, are there two separate issues here? Are you coming in to be the travel agent of record to handle this and the coordinator, so you'll actually do all the coordinating and be there to help run the event? Is that what you're talking about, that you actually have to go to the meeting and do on-site coordinating? So while you're answering that, Nancy, and everybody else, you guys are typing in your questions, here's what I would say, Nancy. Okay, because if this has been done in the past, and listen up, everybody, this is very important. When you meet with somebody, okay, and let's say they've done it before, okay, here's the first question I would ask them if they've done it before and you're coming in. The last thing you want to do is start selling what you do, is start telling them what to do. Your first job is to be the detective, and you want to ask questions first. So you're going to go with a big old notebook, okay, and you're going to show them you've got a clean notebook. You're going to write the name of their company on the front of the notebook to show them that you're dedicating a whole new notebook to them. See, that's something subliminal, right? You go to the dollar store and get these spiral books for $1 or a composition notebook, okay? And the first question you're going to ask Nancy and everybody else is, what didn't go well last year? Well, in your case, Nancy, it didn't go off at all. But you want to find out first, what are the things that you wish you could have changed? What didn't work? What kinds of stresses and inconveniences or problems were there in the past that you want to make sure don't ever happen again? And let me tell you why that's your first question. Because that is they're going to probably lean forward and they're probably going to smile, because they wouldn't be talking to you if everything went perfect last time. They wouldn't be talking to you if it went perfect last time. Because if it went perfect, they'd have no reason to change. Now, this is, of course, as if they've done it in the past, at least once. Now, that's going to lead to lots and lots of pages of information, of notes. And through that, you're going to learn what went wrong that you have to overcome, the things that they don't want, so you don't end up giving them stuff they don't need. And you're going to, without even asking the question of what they want, you'll find out what they want. So that's the first thing. And then, Nancy, okay, she responded back. Nancy, she wanted to organize and also attend. Okay. So that's the first question that I would ask. The second thing is, Nancy, I believe, and listen, everybody, because I'm going to connect this to something I said back on my birthday Ask Stuart Hour on December 15th. Thank you for attending that. I had a good time. Do you remember when I suggested to you that the way to go sell a group is not to go sell a group. The way to go sell a group is to find somebody or some organization that has a problem and to use group travel as the solution to that problem. Okay, so you can't sell something to somebody unless they need it, unless they have a problem and you've got the solution, you've got the answers. So to me, Nancy, in this case, there must be some kind of a problem. Didn't happen last year or whatever, the other things that didn't go perfectly in the years prior. They need somebody to come in all in, and you're going to come in, you're going to do it all. So once you get out of them that they need somebody to turn to make it all work, to make it all come together, you're going to give them a package price, and of course it's going to be amortized out because everyone who's going is going to end up paying your consulting fee. I mean, that's what you are as a travel professional, as a group travel expert. You are a consultant, aren't you? You're a consultant because you're solving their problem and you know how to do it. You know that the meeting rooms need to be set. You know that these have to be prearranged. You know the stage needs to be ready. There needs to be a wireless mic. There needs to be a video camera. There needs to be pens and pads on the tables. As the consultant, you're all consultants. So absolutely positively, you want to build that consulting fee in because it's one thing that you're going to be taking the bookings, Nancy. It's altogether another that you're going to be on site and escorting. To me, it's the same thing as escorting. If you were going on the cruise ship like Carl, I don't know if you're going to go along, or Carol, if you're going to go along in that trip and escort it, which you should get paid for. You have to get paid for it. But you should make sure you build in your fees to not only be there. And Nancy, I know you said you're going to attend. I'm not sure if you're going to do the on-site coordination, but if you're going to, become deeply involved as sort of the group leader with your ski group here, then you get paid for that. It's all part of the package. You don't have to break out the pricing. It's going to be amortized over everybody who signs up. Now, I don't know if that helps. And then the contract, that okay, Jan says she tried to raise her hand, but I can't see it. She's let me see. All right, hang on, Jan. I'll try to pick you up in just a second because I see it. I see a little hand up there. Hold on, we're going to try it. That'd be very cool if it'll work. Let me see if it's going to work right now. Let me see. Hold on there. I don't know. How does this thing work here? Let's see, Jan. No. Lower your hand. I don't want to lower your hand. That's just kind of weird. So, Jan, just tell me, Jan, if you do want your mic on, and if you do want me to turn your mic on, I'm happy to do it because I clicked on a little hand there, and it only said that it only said I could lower your hand. I don't want to lower your hand. Okay. So wait, Nancy said we'll also attend. So, I don't know if that helps everybody, but let that be inspiration to you guys that you are a consultant. You're already a consultant, and you start what's called consultative selling. And if you want to know what that is, get the book. What's it called? Naked something. What's the book? Oh man, the Naked something. Get Naked. Is that the name of the book? Get Naked. It's about consultative selling. This is a family show, folks. This is a family show. Don't go there. But it's a great book. I know it's up on my shelf, but I don't want to distract from what we're talking about here. So you get that book out and you begin the consultative selling approach. That's what that is. Okay. And Nancy, one more thing. Another problem is that these folks are journalists and have traveled in the FAM style in the past, but now the ski areas are less likely to offer comps and deep discounts to them. And that's not your fault, Nancy. That's just the way it is. And if that's become something that's a more of the new way, then this is not your doing. It's nobody's doing, but the way it is. It's all about change. And I would imagine that the rates, the prices, the package would have to be high value and that have to be really excited to still want to participate, that this is the new world. This is the way it is. It's an interesting situation to have to deal with when you have people who are used to getting stuff free and they can't anymore because the money's just not there. All right, Jan, I'm coming at you. Here we go, Jan. Here we go. Unmute Jan. Jan,
Oh,
you're
yay.
unmuted. Hello.
Hi, Stuart. I had to laugh when I received your email because I had a dentist appointment this morning.
That's very funny.
And I would have gone to it, but it's so cold and dangerous outside my door that I canceled it and rescheduled it for another day.
Yay. I think that is hysterically funny because I was just having fun, obviously. But hey, look, now you're cozy and warm. You've got your slippers on, a nice hot cup of coffee, and we're talking. What's going on? I'm glad you're here.
Well, first, I have to say there was something else about it. I thought you looked at my calendar. I thought, how did he see my calendar? Well, I have to look
That's
at
really
this.
funny.
Okay. So here is my question. I have a group that is leaving in 2 years. Well, not quite 2 years now. It's September of 2017.
Right.
And we have the space, and it had to be done early because it's a very special situation in Europe for the Reformation. The 500-year anniversary of the Reformation is in 2017. So they've got this special group. We've got the space. Everything's kind of done, except that we don't have people yet. And so here's my question. We sort of put it out there to some folks so they know about it, but they cannot see, and I can't see either, why they would put a deposit down almost 2 years early on a trip. So I'm wondering what I could do to incentivize them to drop a dime on this now versus even 10 months from now.
Yep.
And does that make any sense to do it now?
Yeah. So to recap, everybody pay attention here because this is great, really, really great subject, and I hope everybody can glean from it. And if anybody out there has comments or suggestions, I'm happy to turn your microphone on too. Thank you, Chad, for being the first. So here's my recommendation. Number one, the answer is yes. I think you absolutely should go forward and try to get deposits. I did that with my River Cruise group, which is April 2017. We weren't a full 2 years out, but we were certainly a year and a half out. So here's the way I would do it. Remember that if you just come out and say, hey, everybody, we're doing a neat trip in September 2017, here's a deposit, come on and get it, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You need to do that group launch sequence concept, which is what I did for my group, and I want to help you with your group too, which is the first thing you want to do is you just want to send out save the date. Save the date, which are the dates of the trip, okay? And don't tell them a lot of detail about it, okay? Then you need to, Jan, launch a sequence of events, little 15-minute, 20-minute presentations. Jan, are they local to you or are they all over the country?
Most of them are local right now.
Okay, and that's great. Great, because either do it at your house, do it at the place where everybody meets, wherever it's convenient, and you have a little casual get-together, and then you start talking about this. And you don't talk about rates, you don't talk about deposits, nothing. You get them excited. Why? Because this, if I'm not mistaken, is maybe a once-in-a-lifetime event. It's a big deal?
Yeah.
Okay, unless anybody is going to be surviving for more than 500 years, perhaps this is a once-in-a-lifetime event, and that's what you want to go on. Use those words, once-in-a-lifetime event, that you, Jan, and if there are other people who you know are committed, we already have a core group committed that in September 2017, we're going to take a magical, once-in-a-lifetime journey, and we're planning this early because there are going to be many, 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 many others who want to do this. So we wanted to get in early, have you all save the date, start saving your P's and Q's, looking forward to it, and making sure that we don't miss, because once it passes, it's over. There's no second chance to go back. And then you do these events, And then either after 3 or 4 of these, Jan, what I suggest is, and you tell people that you're going to open up the deposit window. And I'm going to get to answer your question specifically now. You're going to open up the deposit window only after you do these sequence of events, informational events. And you know what you want to do during those informational events. You don't want to sell to them. You want to overcome every obstacle, any negative they may have. That's what you're going to be doing, so that when you open up the deposit window, which could be 1 day or 2 days, then anybody who's going is going to deposit. Anybody who's not will be gone. Okay? And I would suggest make that deposit window 24 to 40 hours. When I did it, Jan, do you know that I gave my people a 48-hour window? All the deposits that came in within the first few hours of that first day. That was it. Okay. And when they say to you, why would I want to deposit this now? Well, first of all, I would come up with something that's reasonable. For me, I actually emulated what Alma does in my case. I did $400 a person, $400 a person. But if you know, you can toggle it if you want. But what you want to do is you want to say, you need to know how much space you should be holding, because it's going to go fast, which is the truth. Okay. And you also want to give folks who do deposit early, who are committed now to go, you want to make sure they get the first shot at the best availability, based on, I don't know if there are hotel rooms, where whatever you can, it's not on a cruise ship per se, but you want to make sure they get, the best in. Okay. Next, I would suggest you still make it refundable up to a certain point like I did, so at least they feel, all right, we'll put up the couple $100 or whatever, right, Jen? So it's not as if you're going to take the money and run with it. And if you want, you could tell them it goes into escrow, whatever, so they feel good about it. You're going to give them a receipt. And then what you could probably do is pick a date and time where you can tell everybody, listen, also, whoever is deposited by this date, these rates are locked. But on this particular date, there's a good shot that price is going up. You don't know by how much, but there's a good shot it's going up. And I do suggest you raise it, because I am. After April 18th for my river cruise, we're going up $100 a head. And I'm going to tell everybody, listen, get it now. So I say yes, and you need to express that confidence that it's essential. If they want to celebrate this once-in-a-lifetime event and not run the risk of missing, then put up a few dollars now, so you know you need to hold this space so it's guaranteed.
Okay.
What do you think? Okay. Can you do it?
This is all such good stuff, but I went along with the tour, the leader of this group, in kind of putting it out there about 2 months ago, because she saw an urgent need and just did it. So it's already sort of had a launch, but not really, sort of a pre-launch. I think what I have to do, if I can do this, is go back and act like that didn't happen, or acknowledge that it happened, but now the new year is here and we're taking a different approach. What do you think?
I think you need to. I'm telling you now that, because what you said, Jan, and listen, everybody who's on this call, listen, what we're just talking about here. It is sort of a reflex for us that as soon as we get the dates and the rates nailed, we consider it urgent to get it out to everybody. And what happens is, then we have to work hard to build momentum. And it's almost impossible, because we've already let the cat out of the bag and people have already made decisions. Oh, that's expensive. They've already formulated a man or amount. So rather than, and this is for the future, everybody race to putting the prices out there. You do this group launch sequence, right, where you build it up and you don't let anybody even give you money until you open up that deposit window. You build momentum. So, Jan, the answer is yes, you can go back, and I would start fresh. I would make believe that never happened and just do a launch. You need to get people engaged to come to those events so you can present how amazing and awesome this is going to be. And if you want to get an idea of how I worked out my sequence of events, just go to my on my website. It'll up at the top. It says River Cruise 2017, and look at the agenda for what we're going to be presenting, because I'm doing another round the end of this month for Sherry's followers. So yes, you can do it. Make believe it never happened in the past. Start with a save the date. Schedule those series of presentations, and tell them you're not taking money. Shut it off. No, you're not taking any money until that deposit window. And you got it. You got to do it, because if you don't come out swinging, momentum only drops. It's almost impossible to build momentum. And what do we as travel professionals end up doing to build momentum when we see it dying on the vine or drying on the vine? We drop the price. We do something drastic like that. So people who did book are like, oh man, I deposited early and look, the price dropped. And then you have to give back money. And then people will say, oh, let me wait another 2 months. Maybe it'll drop more. You never want to do that. You want to come out when you open for sale. It's like Black Friday, man. You can't walk in on Thursday, okay? And if you walk in on Saturday, those deals are gone. You build up, build up, build up, build up. Open up the doors, let them come in deposit, and then it's just filling in from there.
So how long did you, when you put this out and you said their deposit was refundable until April, whatever, how long is that refundable till? Forever? Or until the second deposit is due?
That's correct. Yep, on April 18th, which is the 1 year mark prior, that original $400 per person is non-refundable, and an additional $400 per person is due. Because I'm going to work out a payment plan so it's not total shock to everybody. But to me, it gave people a sense of comfort that they knew that, because they said the same thing to me, Jan. They said, well, this is pretty early. And I said, let me tell you why we're promoting it early. And that's because I want to stop you from booking anything big in 2016 so you can save up your vacation time and your money for 2017. And it was true, because people said, well, you're right. We were looking to do something big in 16, and we won't. We'll do it in 17. And that's why, another reason why it's never too early to start promoting a big program like this. This is going to be costly. You're going to Europe. It's going to be a couple of bucks. It's going to take time off.
Thank you. That was so helpful. I hope it was helpful to everybody else. And I just want to say, talking directly to Stuart is wonderful. I prefer it rather than typing anyway. So would love to hear everybody else's too. That's just a plug. Thank you.
Thanks, Jan. I appreciate it very much. I appreciate you sharing very much. And by the way, because I don't know if you guys can just request to have your mic unmuted. I haven't seen any requests pop up. But just go ahead and type in the question box, please turn my mic on, and I will. And I'm grateful, Jan, that you did that. It's wonderful. It's fun for me, too, because we get to interact like that. And if anybody has any comments, and Jan, let me just make sure I shut your mic off there. Hold on. If anyone has any comments to add along that, please do. I want to hear what you have to say. All right, there we go. Jan, you are muted. So you are free to sneeze and for the dog to bark. I want to thank Anne for telling me the proper name of the book. It's called Getting Naked, A Business Fable. Okay, Getting Naked, A Business Fable. It's a wonderful book about consultative selling. It's kind of a cheesy story, right, Anne? But I think it's really good. I think there was some valid stuff in there we can learn from it too. That you walk in there not selling yourself, but you actually have them sell them to you by telling them all their needs, their wants, their concerns. Okay. Okay, Steve wants to know, where is your group launch sequence documented? It's documented in my Mac right now. It's a series of brand new modules, of training modules, that I'm going to load up into Bootcamp. So I will let you know, and you'll be able to go access them, just like you access what's in Bootcamp now. So that's where it's documented. And and my goal to you, I'm going to set this as a goal that it's going to be done. It's going to be launched and live by the end of next week. Launched and live by the end of next week. How's that for a commitment? Wow. Mark it down. I don't like missing commitments. All right. But if you need any more information on group launch sequence, Steve, let me just write you. I wrote an article for Agent at Home magazine, and it sort of does a review of that. So, Steve, I can email you that article that gives a little bit of a preview of it. Not a lot of details, because I'm reserving the details for Bootcamp, for people who are in, subscribed, enrolled, members of. But if you have any other questions about it, please let me know, Steve, because I hate to sort of keep it from you until it goes into boot camp, but I'm sort of been, you guys are in boot camp, so you own it. You own this materials. You own it, but it's not in boot camp yet. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to help if you're in the middle of something. Ken has a question. Hey, Ken, what is the defining number when you decide whether a group will or will not go? You're welcome, Steve. My pleasure. What is the defining number when you decide whether a group will or will not go? Well, there could be a great question, Ken. They can answer this so many different ways, because it's dependent upon that group. And first things first is that I would sit down with the group leader. Let's say if you're not the group leader and you're working in tandem with, in harmony with, in synchronicity with a group leader, you need to, when you lay out the metrics of how you will define success. Okay, because remember, one of the first things, even before you put together the agreement letter or the contract, or I like to call it a group agreement letter, you need to be synchronized in your mission statement. Okay? Your mission statement, both of your mission statements, both must be to have the group be a success. And then number two is, of course, Ken, you're looking to, have a successful group and make money, and your group leader is looking to whatever. But number one, the number one has to be a successful group. Okay? Nobody can be in it for themselves. Okay, stage two is you have to define what that success is. And when you define what that success is, be specific. And this could be driven by numbers, that if you don't get 12 people, 20 people, 19 people, based on your fulfillment of your contractual obligations and giving all the people what they expect, if you're going to lose money, then that means that's the cutoff. 10 people, 12 people, 19 people, whatever that number is. And there's got to be a date too, because, Ken, you're going to be holding the contracts with the suppliers. So knowing, I sort of see this as a spreadsheet where you have that drop dead date where you got to give back space, you got to put up more deposit, and you got to make a commitment, because also you got people who've already deposited, right, Ken? They've already deposited, and you may have to give them their money back if it's canceled. And what if they booked air? Ouch. Ouch. So it always gets testy. So let's say if it's based on your contractual obligations and the fact that you have to make a decision by a certain date. Of course, you want to back it up a little bit. And if you're going to lose money, if you're not going to fulfill it, then you need to make that very clear to the group leader that, hey, if we don't reach 19 people, this is canceled. It's not going to happen. Okay. The other way is it could come from a group leader perspective. Maybe this is a specific kind of a meeting. They have their own markup on it. They do teaching. They do lectures or whatever. And they need to have a minimum of 50 people. Then they're the ones that set that ground, especially if it's a repeat group. So they know they're usually going to get 40 or 60 people or something. If it's a new group, you got to be really, really, really clear. And at the end of the day, it's got to be driven by numbers. The last thing you want to do is do a group where you're going to pull your hair out of your head and you're going to lose money, and you shouldn't be breaking even. You should be making money. You're busting chops here. When you're working heavy duty on a group, you're running the risk of losing other new business that may be coming your way, or not giving great follow-up and great customer service, loyalty, great service to your current customers because you're so busy. So before you step into something, you got to make sure, even before you step into it, that it's financially feasible and that the break-even point is doable because you feel that this is a good group. And you know what? For those of you new in group boot camp, have been there, let me ask you, have you guys printed out my group viability test? Do you use my 10-step group viability test religiously? I am convinced, and I haven't had to change that in years, that if the group doesn't fit all 10, don't do it. It's not going to work. So Ken, I don't know if that was a specific answer enough, but I'm not a numbers guy. I'm an intuitive guy, which is a blessing and a curse because that makes me risky. I do a lot more riskier things. But at the end of the day, when I do the numbers, I get a spreadsheet and I look at the variables. Now, when you guys do a spreadsheet and you plug in the rates, the markups, you net things down. Now, by the way, I did create a spreadsheet. It's in boot camp. It's a template. All you need to do is plug your numbers in. It's there. Please use it. And I'm happy to help you if you need more help, okay? Because there's math built into it. But when I did my river cruise group, for instance, Ken, I actually plugged in, well, what if here's based on a sellout. Well, here's based on 90%, 80%, 70%, 60%. Now, mind you, I'm doing a half-ship charter, so I've already paid the money, okay? That's it. I can't give back space. All right, there are intricacies of a charter versus a group, but then you want to do the 110%, 120%. So you oversell. What does it look like? Now I want to know, Ken, do you and others, do you guys use my spreadsheet or any kind of a spreadsheet, putting the, assuming that you're already using group viability test, are you using this spreadsheet to show you the numbers of your break evens, and you want to build in there other variable costs and expenses that could decrease your profit margin? Are you making sound financial decisions when you take on a group? It's a whole other subject. I'd love to talk about that because that's critical. Ken, let me know if that helped or didn't help. And I don't know if nobody else is asking for their mic to be turned on yet. Oh, come on, one more person, because Mitch, I don't think he's on this call right now. Mitch was the very first to put his mic on, but if we can have two people put their microphone on one show, we would break a record, a world's record. Gina says, working from the viewpoint of our break-even profit margin, would it be feasible to advise of fee increase if numbers are not met? Well, that's a great question, Gina. Working from the viewpoint of a break-even or profit margin, would it be feasible to advise a fee increase if numbers are not met? I wouldn't make it a fee that you would charge as an extra fee. What I would do is be realistic with the group. It's a great question. Listen, everybody, and show them that, okay, our goal is 50 people. If we hit 40 people, then the organization is going to have to pay the divot, the difference, or else we're going to have to go back and charge the guests more. Now, there's no way the group leader, the organization, and you want to go back to the guests who've already paid and say, hey, listen, we didn't have enough people. You got to drop in a bucket an extra $100. No way. They're going to flip. They're going to freak. But if you go into the organization, this is what's called protecting yourself and also providing a negative, write this down, a negative incentive for the group leader and for the organization, which means if they don't perform, if they don't live up to their obligation, that you're going to have all worded out in your group letter agreement of all the things they're going to do, that there's a negative incentive, meaning they're going to have to pay the difference. So I don't know, Jeannie, if that works in your case, but let's just say if it's a family reunion, it's a family. It's still tough to go back to family and tell everybody you guys got to pay more. But you could tell a person who's in charge or tell everybody, say, listen, if we don't have this many people, this price point is based on these number of guests. If we don't hit it and be specific, then it's got to, some families have a family reunion fund. Some of it's got to come out of the fund, or everybody's got to pay more. But so it depends on the organization, on your client, Gina, who you're working with. Maybe you can get away with a family reunion to charge in more, but generally speaking, I'd say no. I would say that you have to make sure that organization, that association, that group, that club, they know that at this number, there's going to be a shortfall. And rather than go back and ask more money from the guest, it's got to come from somewhere, and they have to agree to pay it. And they don't need to know that part of that is for your fee, your commission, because, Gina, I don't think it's fair or it's your fault that you got to give back of your commission because they had a shortfall. And there's something else I want to layer on this, everybody. Sit up here, listen up. I want to tell you something. If you have factored in tour conductors, if you have factored in sort of an incentive where if they hit X amount of people or beds or bodies or cabins or rooms, they get something, okay? You really shouldn't pay it out until after the trip. Why? Because have you ever had an experience, friends, where they have earned the TC and they knew about it, which I tell you, they're not supposed to ever know about that. Okay, I say never give back that TC. You keep it, it's yours, you own it. Okay, but for whatever reason, let's say they know about the TC or any other incentive, and they hit. And then there are last-minute cancellations. 2 weeks prior, a week prior, or day of, they don't show. Have you ever had that situation, friends? If you've been in business a year or two or more, I guarantee you that's happened in a group. Somebody gets sick, something happens, they can't go, and guess what? You missed the mark. You missed the TC. You missed the magic number where that extra isn't there for you to give back. Good luck going to get that cash back or pull that gift back if you've already given it out before that trip goes. That's why I don't like to hear when you're forced to, or when you've already offered to give back a TC, you can't pull that puppy back if there's a shortfall within the last week, last day of. Pay it out after. Does that help? Let me know if that helps. Nancy wants to know, where do I find the group budget spreadsheet? I don't know. The group budget spreadsheet, and Ken says he uses the spreadsheet. Awesome. There's a lot to consider, risk versus reward. Absolutely. Indeed. And that's where you go with your intuition, your business experience. Is this going to work? Is it not going to work? The group budget spreadsheet, I will have to email you because I don't remember which week it's in, but I will. It's there. It's probably in the budget, in the bonus. One of the weeks in the bonus, and it could be week 2 or week 3. Definitely not week 1, possibly week 2 or week 3 as a spreadsheet. Okay. Hey, we got 5 minutes left. Don't leave because there could be a phenomenal, killer, amazing, awesome question, or somebody's going to put their microphone on. But a couple of quick announcements to let you know. And I'm going to say this to you guys, and don't take it any other way than I hope that you do this with your clients. I hope you do this with your clients. I'm looking for feedback. What's working for you that I could use as a testimonial? If there's something not working for you, I'm not going to post that as a testimonial, but I want to know so I can fix it, I can improve it, I can enhance it. But if there's something working for you, if you've had a magical moment of epiphany in boot camp, if there's something that you like, that you love, and I know, Ken, last time we were together, you wrote a magnificent, absolutely beautiful, and it was unsolicited. You was so kind and so sweet, and I'm so grateful. But if there's something that's working for your boot camp that you think other agents should know, let me know. I built out a brand new boot camp page because I want to bring in all new people this year. Not all new people, additional people. I love you. I love you. Grateful you're here. And I want to spread the love. I want that ripple effect to keep going to bring in additional agents to join us here in boot camp. But I need to know from your words, from your mouth, from your experience, what do you like about it? What's working? How is it working? Why is it working? And as a thank you, I'll give you a few extra months of boot camp if you want to do it. No pressure. Okay, here we go. The next Ask Stuart Hour is January 11th. It's on a Thursday at 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Mountain, 8 o'clock Pacific. I am here to promote my good friend, Mike Marshev. Do you know Mike Marshev? He's not only a friend, he's a mentor, and he's awesome. He's just announced a program, January 21. It's called The Wealthy Travel Agent. Mark it down. And if you want, I'll send you the link. I'll put it on a Facebook post. Let me know if you want it. January 21, he's doing a 1-hour talk show called The Wealthy Travel Agent, talking about luxury travel. His guest on it is Dan Chappelle, good friend of mine, Dan. Dan's been in the business a number of years, really super guy. His specialty is luxury travel, upscale travel, and that's what they're going to be talking about. It's a program that's actually sponsored by Ama Waterways, and it would be great to have you guys show up and support him from boot camp. Some of you are already in his inner circle, which is awesome. I highly recommend that. And please go ahead and show him your love, joining him January 21st. And Mike Marshev, the Wealthy Travel Agent. I will post a link in Facebook or email me, and I'll send you the link. And that's my announcement. So let's see what the final issues here. So, Nancy, you did raise your hand. Did I say January 12th? January 28th. Oh, my gosh. So, Nancy, you want me to put your microphone on? Hold on, everybody. We've got one more question. All right, Nancy, I'm coming to you. Hold on there. I got to figure out how to make this work even better. So, hold on. I'm looking for you, Nancy. I'm looking for you. I'm looking. Here we go. Come on. There you are, Nancy. All right. Nancy, your microphone is unmuted. Hello, Nancy.
Hello, Stuart. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. What's up?
Well, I just wanted to thank you because I have had a bank group, and I worked with them for 2 different bus tours, and then they were stalling on planning for 2016. And I wrote out a contract and asked them to give me at least 6 months and also a $250 deposit, planning deposit, because I couldn't do a March trip starting at the end of December, which is when they decided they were going to set a schedule for 2016.
Wow.
So it really relieved a lot of pressure on my end by telling them that, and I haven't heard back from them, but I'm not going to worry about it because there's a lot of other things coming my way, but it just is, I guess they are outside of my circle.
Perhaps they are. You never know. That phone could ring last minute, or maybe you'll be saying, boy, it's a good thing I didn't get that piece of business, because you don't know anything much about the organization. Is it going to be well organized? And it could be huge pressure for you doing all this last minute stuff and making the arrangements. So sometimes things happen for a reason. But you protected yourself.
Thank you very much.
Yep. It's a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate it. I'm going to mute your mic back, okay?
Sure.
All right, so happy. We have 2 people who turned their microphones on, the brave, the few, the proud. Thank you very much. Hey, listen, it's time for a wrap. Hey, Deborah's joined us too. Vincent's in the house. This is a huge Ask Stuart Hour, and I am grateful. Remember, the next one is January 28th. Send your questions in advance. I will be posting this on audio on the podcast page, and I want to thank you all for trusting me to help you master the group business model.